All right, here we go, everybody. Welcome back inside the UKnighted Tap House on another Thursday evening. A beautiful one at that. We're finally back into some warm weather after some snow, the dreaded S word yesterday. And we're very happy once again to welcome you here inside for the UKnighted podcast, episode number 5 happening tonight. And boy, what a packed show we have for you. So many live guests, so many great accolades that Gannon athletics and student athletes have been able to accomplish over the course of the last 7 days, and we're more than happy to be joined with you here tonight. Whether you're watching live inside the UKnighted Tap House, you can't find a seat in here right now, but that doesn't mean they won't serve you. Make sure to stop in right now, and we'll talk about Dish of the Day in just a moment. We've got $2 off our Dish of the Day. Almost half off. Happy hour just ended a couple of minutes ago, but there's still so many great deals and things that you can make sure that you're a part of here at the Tap House, and you can join us on our podcast every Thursday from 6 to 7. If you are watching on one of our social media platforms, Gannon Athletics on X, Instagram, Facebook, or our YouTube page, sure glad you're with us here on this Thursday evening as we march into the end of March and head into the beginning of April. So much going on tonight. Let's show you exactly what we have coming up on the show on this Thursday evening. We'll start in just a couple of minutes with head coach Kelly Mikowski and competitive cheer and dance. They are getting ready for their Road to Daytona showcase coming up on Saturday afternoon. We'll talk to them about what it means. It's also senior day for so many great cheer and dance student athlete members. We'll talk to them a bit about that as well as they get ready to head to Daytona in April for national championships. It is also athletic training month around all universities in the United States. And here at Gannon University, we have 6 incredible athletic trainers who make sure that our student athletes are always ready to go. So in a little bit later in the show, I'll sit down with head athletic trainer David Dennis. He's been in the business for over 30 years. He's going to be talking with us just how important that is and what it means for athletic trainers, not just to be recognized, but to be with the student athletes as well. And no one better than the owner of the UKnighted Tap House, John Melody, who's going to join us. We're going to recap some St. Patrick's Day excitement, why this partnership matters to him, and maybe reminisce on some of his coaching days at Gannon University as well in the next couple of minutes. So much happening today. Of course, what's on tap. We'll show you exactly what's going on with the athletic prowess of sports around Gannon University coming up in just a couple of minutes. We'll also detail our top 5 plays of the week. The Dish of the Day is actually going to start the show for the most part tonight. So as soon as that's out and ready to roll, we'll have our Dish of the Day. And, of course, much more on the show as well. Some great announcements to talk about as well. In fact, while we're at it and we're waiting for that Dish of the Day, it's going to be a great one, folks. I can tell you that right now. It'll make your mouth water. And, again, you can get it for $2 off. We'll show that to you in just a second. Let's go ahead and show you what's on tap for this weekend in Gannon Athletics. All right, so here's what's on tap for this weekend as we get ready for Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Coming up tomorrow, baseball back at home. DJ Cannon squad taking on Cal PA for a doubleheader at 1 and 3:30 p.m. Then, as aforementioned on Saturday at the Highmark Event Center, competitive cheer and dance at 4 o'clock, ready for their Road to Daytona showcase. That's going to be an unbelievable event, folks. You will not want to miss it. Make sure to join us inside the Highmark Event Center. We'll also have some details on how you can donate to Make-A-Wish, of course, as we continue our efforts at Gannon University to make sure kids are able to get their wish granted through the Make-A-Wish program. Also on Saturday, softball will take on Cal and Seton Hill on Saturday and Sunday. Women's lacrosse will travel to Charleston, West Virginia at 11 a.m. on Saturday as well. So there's a lot happening on the campus of Gannon University. So many great things, of course, that have been going on week in, week out. Winter sports just wrapping up with women's basketball and the Elite Eight, and now spring sports in full bloom as we get ready for what's going to be an exciting sprint to the finish in the 2024-2025 season. All right, it appears that the Dish of the Day is here. So without further ado, I've got someone to help me taste it as well. Let's go ahead and show you what our Dish of the Day here at the UKnighted Tap House is right now. All right, so if I am correct, I believe I have Grace with me here who's going to try our Dish of the Day. I'll go ahead and put that headset on, Grace, and we can show you what this dish is. I'll tell you what, it is pretty darn good. You just got to put the headphones on that way. It is the barbecue chicken pizza this week. Grace getting a chance to join me here on the show to try this. I'll tell you what, there are a lot of great dishes here at the UPick6 Tap House, and this, of course, is one of them. So many great things that are happening around. We got a lot of things here on this, Grace. I'm going to let you go ahead and dig into that and try that right now, and then you can tell me how it is. What do you think?
Amazing.
It's amazing.
The seasoning on this pizza is amazing. The cheese, I love it. Come get it here at the Tap House.
Well, and we were going to say, too, you can also get our dish of the day for $2 off at the UPick6 Tap House, of course, every Thursday from 6 to 10 p.m. So you come here at 6, you stay till 10, you can order that dish as many times as you want, and you get it $2 off from 6 until 10. I'll tell you what, we've been doing a lot of the dish of the day here. The Tap House has a really amazing array of pizzas and flatbreads. That's like something that they do so well, whether it's the pesto flatbread, whether it's the barbecue chicken flatbread, whether it's the bacon grape flatbread that we had just a short while ago on the podcast. So you recommend for sure, without a doubt?
Definitely.
Okay, perfect. So let's go ahead and show you yet again our dish of the day. You can get for $2 off at the UPick6 Tap House. And Grace, I'm actually going to let you take that with you because I can't eat during the podcast. I guess my job, I wouldn't be doing my job. So go ahead and take that with you. Enjoy with your friends. And that is our dish of the day here on the United Podcast. Again, make sure you can get that for $2 off. Every single Thursday, there's a new dish of the day every Thursday from 6 to 10 p.m. So again, thanks to Grace for helping us try that out. And now we can go ahead and get into the remainder of our show. Again, remember, make sure to join us at the UPick6 Tap House every Thursday. We are live here from 6 to 7. And then, of course, we have the dish of the day from 6 to 10, $2 off. You can get that as well. Almost half off happy hour. We're going to talk about that with John Melody in just a couple of minutes as well. We're going to get to, in just a second, competitive cheer and dance. Before we get to that, though, a couple of amazing announcements from Gannon University Athletics and the university at large. First, we want to highlight our Gannon Student Athletes of the Week. And those two student athletes are Emma Smerick from the softball team and Justin DeBuck from men's basketball. After a great week from both of them, including a regional final appearance for Gannon men's basketball and Gannon softball as well, also being a big part of their now home slate as they start to get into some home games. And for the Golden Knight men's basketball team, of course, Easton Bizzoli's squad with just an amazing run to what was the Sweet 16 for the second year in a row. Justin DeBuck and Emma Smerick, congratulations, our student athletes of the week. Also want to give you an update as well coming up in a couple of weekends for Alumni Weekend for Gannon football. Make sure to save the date. Alumni Weekend happening April 11th through the 13th. You get a chance to meet and greet with some of the football players as well as take part in just everything that you can get excited about with the football team. And their spring game takes place during Alumni Weekend as well on April 12th. So make sure to save the date as well. Gannon Football Alumni Weekend on April 11th through 13th. You can find details on how exactly to be a part, as well as information on how to sign up and donate today at GannonSports.com and on our social media channels. Another team ranking coming in for one of our winter/spring sports hybrid teams. The NCATA revealing earlier this week that Gannon Acrobatics and Tumbling ranked 11th in the nation by the NCATA as Brandy Duran and her squad get set for their home finale coming up next Saturday when they take on Quinnipiac, the second-ranked team in the nation. So we can't wait for that coming up in just a couple of weeks' time, actually less than a couple of weeks' time, just 9 days from today. But that's then, and this is now. And now we are more than happy to bring in head coach Kelly Makowski and Julian Sullivan of the competitive cheer and dance team, who finally get to be home after what has seemed like a really long season on the road. We were joking, Kelly, before really we got on the air that, my goodness, the season feels at the beginning like it's a long way away from Daytona, but here you are now, one final opportunity to showcase your skills and talents before you head to Daytona in April. I'm sure it's going to be a really big excitement being back inside the Highmark Events Center.
It is. Yes, we're so excited to be back on campus and very excited to be back in the Highmark Center and the newly renovated. But it's so crazy. The season starts and then all of a sudden the end is near, which is kind of where we're at. So we have one last stop on the road to Daytona, and luckily it is right at home. So we're super excited to be able to showcase our routines and all of the hard work that the athletes have put in this season in front of our home crowd.
I was going to say, Julian, because we were also talking beforehand, and one of the things that you said is like there's part of you that feels like, okay, it is a grind, right? Because the season, you put a lot of work in. You have to make sure you're the student part, the practice part, then the competition part. For you, do you ever get a moment to just be able to take a second and sit back and think to yourself, like, wow, this season's gone by very quick? What's the experience been like for you in your time with the competitive cheer and dance team?
Oh my gosh, you're so right. It is definitely a grind, but I always feel like every single year I blink and like Daytona's here. And it's just crazy to me because I remember freshman year like it was yesterday, and it's already my last national season, and I'm like floored. Like it goes by so fast, and I'm just so grateful for everything because I was able to have 4 great years, and I'm so excited that my senior year I'm able to be back in the Highmark Center, because I remember when they first announced that they were renovating it, and I remember thinking, oh my gosh, my senior year we get to have the showcase in the new Highmark Center, and I am so excited because it looks amazing, and I'm so ready. I'm so ready.
Well, let's talk about Senior Day first, because that is one of many themes that you have for this event coming up on Saturday. But I'll start with you on this, Coach, because every coach adores their senior class in various ways, right? You go through a new one every single year. But, for Julian and others, you've had the opportunity to coach them now. They've been part of the program for 4 years, and they've been part of this team that now you've had the opportunity to take over. Take me through, in your time here now with the Golden Knights, what this class has meant to you as you've kind of adapted yourself into the competitive cheer and dance program.
Yeah, so crazy enough, Jill's class was actually my first year coaching.
Yeah.
It was her freshman year. So it's kind of crazy to, be there for essentially that entire journey for them, and like just to see them grow and change, not only in the skills and in the sport that we do, but how they've grown and changed as people and matured, and just to kind of see them develop into the adults and the humans that they are before they go out, into the real world, is really crazy. But I've just been very fortunate to be a part of their journey, and to be able to, just be involved in it in any way, shape, or form. But we have some really, really awesome seniors. And I think the cool thing about our program is we have so many different people, dance, cheer, band, just different members, that it's just a really unique group. And, they all bring this different energy to the program, and we're definitely going to miss them. But, super excited to celebrate them this weekend, and, have one last really fun Daytona ride in a couple weeks here.
Okay, Julian, so take me back to the start of your freshman year, because you've talked about this season's gone fast, right? Take me back to when you started and what you thought might come of your time of competitive cheer and dance, and the expectations you had then and what you've been able to realize now. What's that process been like, just going through as a student athlete for 4 years? And, I'm sure thinking what's going to happen down the road, but now actually being able to have it lived out and now being in your final home meet. What has this experience been like to you in your time with Gannon competitive cheer and dance?
Oh my gosh, it's been genuinely crazy. I did not know if I was going to make it this far because I have such a challenging degree, but I have so much passion for the sport that I genuinely could not imagine my life without it. My freshman year was so interesting. Like Kelly said, that was her first year coaching, and she came in like right during our season right when it started. So we kind of had like a really random coaching switch, and so we were all a little bit like nervous about how that was going to go, but it ended up being just like the best possible thing for us, because we all got to really bond over that and get close that season. And I remember being so nervous my freshman year, like, am I going to be good enough? Am I going to, is the team going to be able to rely on me? But after performing on the national stage for the first time, I knew that is exactly where I belonged. And I was like, there is no way I'm backing out. Like, I'm going to be here to the end. And like standing here now, I'm just like, I don't even have words, because it's just crazy that much time has passed. It feels like it was yesterday that I walked in for the very first time.
Yeah.
I'm just, oh my gosh. And I think that I've made a lot of progress, not just as a dancer, but as a person. Like, I think this sport and this team has really helped me find myself and find what type of person I want to be for other people. And that's something I value so much, in addition to being able to just dance and, perform. So, yeah.
You look at the other seniors on this screen, and each one of them has their own incredible story. How much have they meant to you in your time at Gannon and the relationships you've been able to build, I'm sure, with so many of them in your time?
Oh my gosh, I love all of them so much. Like Kelly said too, they all come from such different places. Like we have some band seniors, we have some cheer seniors, we have some dance seniors. And I'm kind of in a very lucky position because I'm on the game day team and I'm also on the hip hop team. So I kind of get the opportunity to see all of them every day, whether it's cheer practice or dance practice. And I honestly, like, getting to know each and every single one of them and what they get to bring to the team has been such an honor. Like, I love all of them, and even every senior before that, but especially this class, like being able to grow close to them has been such a rewarding experience because they're all such like unique individuals that bring so much to this team. So yeah.
It's exciting. And again, all these seniors worthy of the praise that they are getting from Coach Mikowski. And let's talk about Saturday and what we can expect. Because, yes, the Senior Day festivities are exciting, but you have a really exciting event as well to get to put on. For those who have not been to, in previous years, a competitive cheer and dance competition, take us through what the day looks like and just the excitement over, of course, being back home, but also getting to perform some of your routines to the home crowd and what the expectation can be for fans coming up on Saturday afternoon.
Yes, so Road to Daytona Showcase. We've been doing this for quite a while now, and it's a really great opportunity for us to not only get in front of our home crowd and showcase, what our teams have been working on, but also get some other really talented schools in here to showcase their routines, get them in front of some judges, get a little bit of feedback right before, we head down to nationals. Most teams will be going down to nationals. So we have 7 other colleges or universities that are going to be joining us, split between cheer and dance programs. And essentially our doors open at 3 p.m. Competition and performances start right at 4 o'clock. Our hip hop team is going to be opening up the competition, and then our game days team is going to be closing it down right at 5:45. So it's really, honestly, a competition day is so exciting and kind of fun, and it just goes by in the blink of an eye. So, we get all set up, we get ready to go, we welcome the teams to campus, and then warm-ups begin. So you go in, you have a very specific amount of time per mat, per floor, per station to warm up all of your skills, and then you go out there and you perform it. So you're out there for 2 to 3 minutes in front of, judges, and you just kind of give it your all. And then after that, you get some critiques, you get some scores, and you kind of like let that guide you in, what you need to work on for the next handful of practices that we have. But essentially, the day is going to be really, really exciting. We have quite a big number of teams that are coming, quite a big number of performances that are coming, and a lot of really, really talented athletes. So I'm excited to, not only have some new teams joining us this year, but to be back at the Highmark and kind of on our home turf and right at home there. So
there's a reason that this meet is called the Road to Daytona Showcase, because after this, you're heading to Florida.
Yes.
Gosh, am I jealous based on the weather that we've had recently. But let's chat about that, because I'm not sure that there is an experience like national championships at Daytona that it's hard to match.
Yes.
I think for any semblance of any kind of sport across college and professional athletics, what is that week like, and the preparation leading up to it? And I don't want to look too far ahead, but there's got to be a level of excitement there as well for getting a chance to go to Daytona. And Coach, take me through what that is like, that championship week.
Yes. So the best word that I can use to describe it is just pure organized chaos.
That's a good idea.
Yeah, it's really just something that's kind of crazy. It's like no other experience. I think you never truly understand like what Daytona is until you're down there and you're experiencing it. There are hundreds upon hundreds of athletes, cheer and dance, band, that are there, and they're all there for the same purpose. The venue is so unique. There's an indoor venue and an outdoor venue. So typically our game day team performs in the outdoor venue. It's called the Band Shell, which is really cool, but it's right off of the boardwalk. You can literally see the ocean from it, but it's a really just kind of unique area, and there are just so many people that are all there for the same reason, that love cheer, dance bands, their different spirit programs, that support these different spirit programs. And it's just really cool to get all of these different, teams together from across the country with, the same goal in mind and the same passion for what we do. But it's crazy. There's a lot that goes into it. There's a lot of bodies that you're moving around. And on top of that, you're kind of focusing on what your team's doing. And then you're kind of on edge every day because you perform in prelims and then you don't really know what your time's going to be for the next day until you get your placement. So it kind of keeps you on your toes, but it's all really exciting.
Jillian, your coach talks about organized chaos, and I think that's a very appropriate way to put it. For a student athlete that's been through it now a few times, what's that experience like for you, being down right by the ocean, so many student athletes next to you and so many teams? Take me through what that week is like and going to be like, certainly in April.
Oh my gosh, it is such a rush. Like, that's how I would describe it. It's just such a rush. And she's totally right when she says organized chaos, because it's very organized. You know what you're there to do. You have a job to do. But there are so many people, and there's spectators, and there's crowds, and there's fans, and there's screaming and cheering. It's awesome. Like, energy is truthfully unmatched. And what really put it into perspective for me, the other day we were at a competition at Elmira College, and we were talking to one of the other teams there, and we asked them if they were going to nationals, and they were talking about what they do. They go to Hershey or whatever. And we were like, oh, we go to Daytona. We're so excited. And the girl said to me, she was like, that's every girl here's dream, to go to Daytona. And I really was like, wow, we are so incredibly fortunate that we get this opportunity and that Gannon allows us to have that chance to go down there. And that really hit me so hard, because I was like, I cannot imagine. Nationals is what keeps me here, what keeps me going. They truly aren't kidding when they say the work is worth it, because oh my gosh, I cannot even put words to the feeling. It is the most amazing experience that I have ever had in my entire career of dancing, and I would not trade it for anything. I love it so much.
And the great thing about it is you get at least a part of it at the Highmark Event Center coming up on Saturday. And I think I'd be remiss, Coach, if we didn't talk about there is a Make-A-Wish component to this meet as well. We just had one last week with the reveal with acrobatics and tumbling, and now your team an opportunity to help contribute to Make-A-Wish, and I'm sure that there's a lot of excitement around that as well for Saturday.
Yes, there is. We have a goal of raising $2,000 at our home showcase, and Make-A-Wish is something that's very near and dear to our hearts. So we're really excited to be able to not only have our showcase, but to have all of the proceeds go towards something so special.
Yeah. And again, we've seen already at Gannon, the athletic department this year has already reached a goal of $10,000. We've increased that goal. We're trying to go above and beyond what we did even last year. And we're going to show you the video in just a couple of minutes of 11-year-old Joshua, who got his wish granted last week in such a special way. And we'll show that to you in case you missed it in just a couple of moments once we are done here with this interview. A couple more minutes left with Kelly Mikowski and Jillian Sullivan of competitive cheer and dance. We've talked about Saturday. We've talked about the road to Daytona. Now take me through, Coach, if you would, before we let you go, just the gratification of this season and what you've been able to enjoy and love from your team. Take me through what fans will get to see on Saturday, just the work that this team has put in this season.
I think that, and this is something that we've kind of talked about with our athletes, but I think that's something that's truly special about this year is when they're out there and they're performing and they're doing their routines, they're doing their full outs, there's this very special connection that they all have. Every single, style or division, every team that we have, they are out there and they are doing it together and they're doing it as a team. And I feel like as a spectator, that is something that you can just feel when you're watching them. You can feel their passion. You can feel that they all are, wanting the same thing and pushing for the same goal and encouraging each other to do so. And I think that connection, being able to see it, feel it, witness it, and be a part of it is something that's truly special. And I think that's something that's, really stood out to me this season.
Jillian, what will it mean to get to have that home crowd behind you on Saturday?
Honestly, everything. I'm so excited. I know I'm biased, but Road to Daytona is my favorite competition that we have before Daytona. My parents always come up and I love seeing them and hanging out with them, and I just love spending kind of that last push with my teammates before we go down, because this is the last time that this unique team is ever going to perform together. And I always every year take the Road to Daytona Showcase as my time to really like take everything in and acknowledge everybody that's standing on the floor with me and performing with me and appreciate every single one of them, because we have created this year together. And I just think that that is so special. That's something we get unique every single year. And I always have Road to Daytona as my time to like reflect and be like, all right, here we go. Like, this is what we're putting on the Nationals floor. We're doing it together, and it's just the best time. It is the best time. I love it.
I don't care whether you're watching live in person, whether you're watching virtually on YouTube and social media, you feel the energy here with Coach and with Julian and with this entire team that's going to be here on Saturday for the Road to Daytona Showcase. Thank you to both of you for joining us. Can't wait for Saturday. It's going to be a blast, and have a wonderful day out there.
Thank you
Thank
for
you so
having us. Go
much.
Knights.
All right, it is going to be Senior Day, as we talked about, coming up as Julian Sullivan and the rest of the senior gang get set for their Make-A-Wish event, as well as Senior Day event and the Road to Daytona Showcase coming up in just a couple of days' time. Well, as we talked about, there is a Make-A-Wish component as well, and the QR code that was on the screen just a few moments ago is how you can donate to the Competitive Cheer and Dances Showcase and Make-A-Wish Fund to help make a child's dream come true. We at Gannon University had the great pleasure and honor of the opportunity to grant a wish to 11-year-old Joshua this past weekend, who with his family was at the acrobatics and tumbling meet against Frostburg State. In case you missed it, here's a look back at this wonderful opportunity. Not a dry eye in the room last Saturday when 11-year-old Joshua had the opportunity to have his wish granted, as he and his family are heading to Legoland and other Orlando theme parks as part of Gannon and Make-A-Wish's partnership to make children's dreams come true. We know, of course, how impactful Make-A-Wish is for so many people around the country and around the world, and we are honored to just be a part of Joshua's great journey and his chance now to get to live his dream and his wish of heading, like we said, to Legoland and Orlando theme parks. And thanks again to Acrobatics and Tumbling, Carrie McKay, our Assistant Athletic Director for External Operations, for helping make this possible. And, of course, all the student athletes who were there to help Joshua in his journey to winning the football game against Donald Duck and others, as well as making his wish come true. One of our wishes at Gannon Athletics, of course, has been to be able to put on this podcast. And as we get into our next guest and get a chance to talk to the man who helped to make it happen, we're pleased to bring in the owner of the UPick6 Tap House, Mr. John Melody, who's got a big connection to Gannon himself, my friend. It's good to see you. I know it's
nice
been a long time, but, man, you've been busy, and I want to start with the recap of St. Patrick's Day. You know, we had an opportunity to put on the podcast a couple of days before St. Patrick's Day, but, you know, the Gannon community, of course, is so embedded in downtown Erie, and to get to see that parade and that event happen over the weekend, I'm sure for you was extremely exciting and special.
Well, it is. Obviously, you know, I'm born and raised in Ireland, been in Erie for a long time now, but, you know, to see the parade and the sea of green that was down State Street on a beautiful summer kind of a feel to it. It was 60+ degrees here in downtown Erie. So it was a huge day for us. As you know, it was better than last year. It's probably going to be the best day of the year by a stretch. And, you know, so it's a long day, it's a tough day, but it's a good day. And the vibe was really good that day. And the weather's such a huge help for these kind of things. So, yeah, all around was good day, good weekend. I just heard you talking about Make-A-Wish there. You know, we start off our St. Patrick's Day kind of weekend. We do a fundraiser for Make-A-Wish at Pier 6. And, you know, we raise some nice money for that too. So I can, you know, attest to what you're saying about Make-A-Wish. What a great charity, and, you know, sad circumstances that you have to do these things. But it's wonderful to be able to do them and be a part of this. You know, I love Erie. It's a great community. So anyway, we can help out. We're happy to.
And the one great thing that all the student athletes and administrators said after the event is, even if you don't have a connection to anyone, and of course, you know, many people in the audience didn't have a connection to Joshua, but still the emotion that you feel when that wish is revealed, when we're going through the entire process of getting to showcase how excited Joshua was. It takes your breath away for a moment of how impactful that moment can be, even if you're just sitting in the stands and just being a part of it as a fan.
Yeah, no, 100%, and I think that's why people do it, and it's a fantastic organization, and we're happy to be involved in not directly with the Gannon one, but we do our own thing with a different family, and it's just such a great charity. Like you say, when these things are done, there's not a dry eye in the place, and that's the way it should be. It's very important to be part of your community and give back to your community, and here at Tap House, that's what we're all about, and our other locations as well.
Speaking of the Tap House, that's where we are right now here in the United Podcast from the wonderful UPick6 Tap House in downtown Erie. It's hard to hear myself think because there's such a great crowd in here, and that's a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
We have so many Gannon student athletes and administration and others who are being a part of our podcast, both live on digital media and live here in person. When this place is full, it is to me one of, if not the greatest atmosphere in downtown Erie, whether it be a weeknight on a weekend. And for you, the opportunity to get a chance to see the Tap House grow and whatnot. What are nights like these where you see packed houses and people just enjoying each other's company like for you?
And that's the pub business for me. You know what I mean? It's what we got into here many, many years ago. I've been doing business in downtown Erie for well over 25 years now, and that's what it's all about, just to create a place where people can go and enjoy themselves, gather, and that's what Tap House is. We're nicely ingrained in downtown. We're on the edge of Gannon campus, hence this podcast, and we always want to be good neighbors. So I think we're day 4, day 5 of the podcast. Or
already
week 4,
5 episodes in.
5 episodes in, yeah. So no, it's been going well, and again, happy to be part of that too.
I was going to say, when we made the partnership and agreed to everything with the podcast coming here, and also, by the way, it's not just the podcast. All away Gannon events are streamed live here at the Tap House. So you stop in any day, there's a visiting event. Make sure to get some great food, great drinks, and of course, check out Gannon Athletics event. We talk all the time, and it is an important thing to harp on about how much the community involvement matters to Gannon University and Gannon Athletics. And for you, how important is that relationship? Of course, in terms of distance, we're just a block away, but there's that marriage that I think is almost as good as any real marriage when it comes to collegiate athletics and local businesses. And Erie has that in spades. And, this partnership for you, take me through what it meant to be able to partner with Gannon Athletics and get a chance to host this podcast here inside the Tap House.
Well, it is, and it's been interesting, and the evolution of this has been interesting because, you had the Hammer Mill for years, and we used to get great crowds for that. Even, you talk about not even, the main sports, and not discounting anybody's, athletics, but it was, on a Tuesday night, maybe you had 20 volleyball parents in here, and we had just different things. And we could really feel it here when Gannon had to move away over to the Prep Event Centre while it was being remodeled. Now Highmark Event Centre, Highmark Arena, whatever it's called over there. It's definitely Highmark. I see the sign every day. So now we're looking forward to getting that back. And, with Gannon home games and football and baseball, we do very well, actually, when baseball is rained out because everybody's in town for the game already. So, a few rainy days in the spring is never a bad thing. So listen, again, we're happy to be part of it. It's a good relationship. I've known Lisa EAD for a long time. Kerry came, the relationship, she drove a hard bargain on this whole thing. But again, we're happy to be involved. We're involved in Gannon at the Hall of Fame level, and we sponsor the Coach of the Year and different stuff. And like I say, we want to be a good neighbor, and obviously Gannon do too.
And you have experience at the university, of course, and a couple of years opportunity for you to coach with the soccer program. I'll tell you what, do you miss it?
Yeah, you do. You miss coaching because you miss that you miss, the locker room. You miss those relationships you have with players. I coached at Gannon. I coached at a different university in this town for many years, and I was down at Gannon, I think, 2007, 2008. It seems like a long time ago, but it doesn't feel like a long time ago. And I still see some of those players and stuff come in here, long since graduated, and it's a nice relationship, you know what I mean? And I've coached actually Billy Colton, I've coached Mickey Bly, who are in charge of the men's program at Gannon right now. So there's still a lot of crossover for sure.
How important is college athletics to downtown Erie? Because again, we don't have any pro teams here. You've got the Seawolves, you've got the Otters, of course, but one of the things that you notice when you live here, and you and I have been here for a long time, is that the community really comes out and supports so many athletic programs. And of course, Gannon University is right at the forefront of that. Take me through how important that community support is for you, of course, at the Tap House and with the company that you're growing. but also the local athletic scene. I'm sure there's a large excitement about getting regulars in and stuff like that as well from the community.
Well, there is, but it's there's a lot of young people around, and then they create an energy and a vibe that you wouldn't have otherwise. So to have that, and you see people, we have so many Gannon people that work here, and have worked here over the years, and sometimes they kind of go, okay, I'm graduating in 3 weeks' time, and you're like, holy shit, that was excuse my French, that was a quick 4 years. But listen, I just asked some of the girls there today that are Gannon students. When I go on this podcast, what do I say about Gannon? They love their programs, they love the school, they love it more than the day they first entered Erie. So it's really, really nice to hear the positivity from the students. And I think that's kind of what makes a great town, is just that energy that they give you. It's good to have businesses around. Obviously, we have Erie Insurance, we have UPMC, we have 300 State across, with a lot of businesses over there. But they just give an energy to a downtown and a vibrancy that you just wouldn't have if you didn't have a university.
John Millety, owner of the UPick 6 Tap House, joining us here on the United Podcast, broadcasting live from the Tap House downtown on State Street. John, we, of course, talk about the Dish of the Day promotion, the $2 off, whatever the Dish of the Day is. But, you're actually in a situation where you get a chance to have multiple happy hours on Thursdays. Right. And I want to get a chance to talk about the almost half off happy hour that you get to do between 4 and 6. Take us through what people can enjoy when they come down to the Tap House, even before the podcast.
Well, it's something that we had done for years, was the almost half off happy hour, food and drinks. And then COVID came along, and as everybody knows, that scuppered our business and our industry for many, many years. But it was the one thing that we kept hearing over and over again from patrons: you got to bring back your happy hour. You got to bring back your happy hour. And you have to listen to your customer. I mean, that's what makes business sense, right? So we've brought that back. So you have half price food and drinks, almost. So it's not exactly half price, but it's very, very close to that. And we have that here, 4 to 6. Monday through Friday every week. And you can see, not only here at Tap House, but at Public House, at Harbour House, at John Russell Brewing Company, that it's definitely, creeping in, and we just got to get the word out that it's there. But you can see where everybody that's here today is taking advantage of that, and that's what we want. We want to create this atmosphere and create this vibe, and that's a nice start to the evening. It's a nice kicker for people after work, and so on and so forth. So it definitely is something that we've brought back. Maybe we should have brought it back sooner, because it's definitely working.
You mentioned the Harbour House and the Public House. Of course, here at the Tap House, John Russell Brewing, you've had an opportunity to get to grow this, around the city of Erie and really the outskirts as well, whether it be in Harbor Creek, whether it be in Mill Creek. How gratifying of an experience has that been for you? Because you did mention COVID took a really big hit on restaurants. What's it been like for you, and the gratification about being able to expand around the Erie area and get to see, the business that you started, get to manufacture itself in that way?
Yeah, I think one of the nice things is we're still here. I mean, COVID took its toll on a lot of people, and we were able to kind of get through that and drive through that. So we're very, very, I suppose, proud and happy that we're still here and still part of the community, because there was a lot of tough days and tough weeks and a tough year or 2 or 3 in there as well. So we're happy to be involved. Yes, we are all around Erie County, and I suppose well positioned. And as we say to anybody, you're never too far from one of our places, no matter what part of Erie County you're in. So we get massive support from people, and the support that people gave us through that whole COVID thing to keep us going was, it just told us again and reinforced this community and reinforced why we're here and why we should keep working, so as we can provide this service, this these pubs and restaurants and the brewery to the people of Erie. And I love the support in this town. I've been here now for nearly 40 years, believe it or not. And Erie's home in lots of ways. My wife's from Erie, and my kids were all from Erie. Somebody just
1 second. We had an issue with the camera here. Let's go ahead and set that right back up and continue along here, John Millety.
Yeah, welcome to the bar business where people walk into stuff. And
you know what? The nice thing about it, though, is that camera's easy to set back up, so no issues.
Yeah. And he did stop and try and help, so it's all good. It's all good. But again, we're just happy to be here. We're happy to be involved, and I can't stress enough how grateful we are to the people that support us and keep us going day to day. And we just want to give back, because we're happy to be part of this. Again, I keep using the word community, but it's very much what we believe in, and very, very happy to be a part of it.
And again, it's so important. We know, especially in the Erie area, where community is really key. And we know that at Gannon University with so many of our student athletes. John, last thing, we're getting into the spring now. Hopefully, knock on wood, the weather's finally going to start getting warmer.
Yep.
I will tell you, I got a chance to go to Ireland last year. I think it was the only week they said that in the week that I was there that it didn't rain. So maybe we need to bring some of that Irish weather without the rain over to Erie. Who knows? I'll leave that up to you since you are the resident.
It is, but I was just there. I was there for a week just before St. Patrick's Day in early March, and it was the same. The weather was absolutely fantastic.
Wow.
The daffodils were out. And you talk about being to Ireland. We are actually running, the Steelers play in Ireland in
I was going to
September.
say, that's crazy.
And we are running a trip, to Ireland. So we're doing a bus trip. We're going to take 30, 40 people to Ireland and be a part of this, go to the game and take a week to tour around the country. So if anybody's interested in that too, they can look us up. But that's exciting. I'm always happy and excited to show off my home country. Because I really feel that people really have a good time when they go there.
I was going to say it's a wonderful place, and that's talk about something down the road that people can get excited and invested about. What things do you maybe have in store for the spring and the summer that you think will be exciting that people around here should know about, whether it be at the Tap House or any other restaurants within the company?
Yeah, well, Pier 6 is our rooftop bar, and that's getting ready to open. So that'll be open April 9th, and, very, very seasonal. So once you get kind of Paddy's Day done and taken care of, it's now the focus is on Pier 6 and trying to get that open and get people hired and trained and ready to go. So there's a lot of work going into that. Meanwhile, maintaining what we have. So it's it's always a little helter skelter, but I suppose it's like athletics in a way. You know what I mean? It's coaching in a way. You're always trying to figure out your next move, your next game, your next play or whatever it is, and we're never as good as what we did. We're only as good as what we're going to do, and that's why I think we're successful.
Everyone on the same team. That's the wonderful thing, is we all work together to get the job done. John, this has been a pleasure, my friend.
Thank you very much.
First of all, we appreciate you having us out here at the Tap House for the United podcast, and second of all, can't wait to see what the spring and summer holds.
Right.
Let's hope we bring that good weather home. That'd be wonderful.
It's coming. Of course it's coming.
It's coming at some point, whether or not we want to wait for it or not. All right, John Melody of the UPick6 Tap House, the owner, joining us here on the United podcast, brought to you, of course, by UPick6. Make sure to stop by right now between 6 and 10 o'clock for $2 off our dish of the day as well. Make sure before you come to the podcast on Thursday or any day, Monday through Friday, between 4 and 6 o'clock. It is the almost half off happy hour from 4 to 6 at the Tap House. So again, make sure to stop by. Great food, great drinks, and of course, away events as well. All streamed for Gannon University Athletics right here at the UPick6 Tap House. All right, as we get ready to talk about Athletic Training Month and the top 5 plays of the week, we want to mention an exciting announcement that came from Gannon University just yesterday in a press release. Gannon University, St. Vincent Hospital, and First Ascent Biomedical announcing a collaboration to develop 2 new laboratories and related medical facilities that will create an educational training pathway to meet demands of the Erie region's healthcare sector. The effort's going to unfold over the next 2 years at Gannon's iHack building, being an opportunity, of course, to collaborate with those new labs and new programs and a new approach to cancer care in the region. So congratulations to the university on that announcement. Of course, the partnership between Gannon Athletics and Gannon University, so important and so impactful in our area to make sure that we are both impacting the athletic side and the academic side, as student athlete is such an important part of the Gannon mission. All right, time now for our top 5 plays of the week. Really difficult choices this week because there were so many sports going on. So we only could pick 5. So many great plays to get to. But let's go ahead and count them down. Our top 5 plays of the week from this past week, Thursday to Thursday. We will start at number 5, Gannon Baseball taking on Clarion last week. How about the throw down to third of the tag by Alex Bemis? Hard when a base runner is trying to go from second to third. First to second steal is a little easier. Gannon making him pay with a caught stealing at third base, and Bemis supplying the tag. Gannon. Women's basketball this past Monday night. How about Brie Claxon? Little stop, little pop. She might be the best at the pull-up jumper in all of the NCAA. At least that's what our opinion is. What a season for Cleve Wright and the Golden Knights. At number 3, acrobatics and tumbling. An incredible home performance in their Make-A-Wish meet with a victory over Frostburg State. An amazing team event as well. Players like Charisma Felix and others, just a tremendous job in what was their penultimate home meet of the season. They'll take on Quinnipiac coming up next Saturday afternoon. Congratulations to the acrobatic and tumbling team. They're also undefeated at home right now, by the way. 3-4 on the season. And again, one more opportunity to be in front of their home crowd coming up next Saturday. At number 2, women's lacrosse taking on Slippery Rock. How about scoring a goal while getting knocked over? That's what Ella Todd did. Take a look, a little shimmy shake to the left. And then while falling, just like Superman, right into the cage. What a goal from Todd. She's okay, by the way. One of the great student athletes on Jennifer Pulaski's women's lacrosse squad. But at number one, it is what we showed you just a few minutes ago. 11-year-old Joshua's wish getting granted. Thanks to Gannon Athletics and our partnership with Make-A-Wish, an opportunity for him and his family to head to Legoland and other Orlando theme parks, surrounded by student athletes across Gannon University campus, and members of the football team also helping him out get past Donald Duck, Lego Man, and Victory Night. What a day. And we're so blessed and honored to have celebrated it with Joshua, thanks to our partnership with Make-A-Wish. Those have been your top 5 plays of the week, and so many more great ones to come. There, in fact, was one from softball today that I also could have put on there, but we ran out of time, so you'll see that play featured next week as well. Again, welcome here inside the United Podcast. In case you're just joining us, thank you for being a part of our show. We're live inside the UPick6 Tap House on the corner of 4th and State Street. Make sure to head down right now. Our dish of the day, $2 off until 10 o'clock. And then make sure to come tomorrow as well. As John Melody just mentioned a few moments ago, the almost half off happy hour is back every weekday, Monday through Friday from 4 to 6 p.m. You can get discounted food and drink, and a great opportunity for you to just sit, enjoy the downtown vibe and atmosphere that is Erie area. And of course, Gannon University just a block away. So much excitement going on around the UPick6 Tap House, around UPick6 as a whole. And we are thankful for their partnership with us and allowing us to come in and invade their space for a little bit on Thursdays and be a part of this great United podcast. All right, as we've been talking about throughout the month of March, it is Athletic Training Month. Just such a special month for a group of individuals who often go unnoticed. Their work's so important and so impactful, but sometimes they get overshadowed at times. They don't necessarily want the spotlight, but they certainly deserve it as we honor them in this month of March. And earlier this week, our coaches and student athletes had a chance to say thank you to so many of the trainers who on this campus help give back and make sure they are ready to go game in and game out.
To have the opportunity to say thank you to our athletic trainers who are a very important part of everything that we do in athletics. A special shout out to Isabel, our fearless athletic trainer for volleyball, who is a great friend in addition to being a great colleague and a true professional. Also thanks to David for running the ship and for everybody else for their great work. We really appreciate you.
If we're not fit and able to play, we have no program to begin with. So the sport and the expertise we get from them is the most important we can have.
Hi, Liv! Well, thank you so much, and we appreciate everything that you've done with us. We could not have gone through these past 4 years without you. We love you, Liv!
The athletic training here at Gannon is very important to me. They help out with our baseball team and help us play to our full extent out here.
One of the things our runners say about Dave is that talking with him feels like talking with your dad. He's always calm and cares deeply for our student athletes. So on behalf of all of us on the cross-country teams, thank you, Dave.
I love athletic training because they're always there when I need them.
I love athletic training because they treat me with kindness and make me feel better.
I love athletic training because we wouldn't be successful without them.
Sometimes go unnoticed because they are behind the scenes, but they are very crucial and important to us.
Hello, Sam. We just want to thank you for everything you have done for us and for your help. We appreciate everything.
Thank you. We don't get to train, we don't get to play without them. It's not just the rehab part, it's the prehab as well. The hours they work are crazy, the things they have to do is crazy, and yet they're always there and always willing to help.
I had an injury earlier in the season, I had thoughts of not being able to play again, so she was a big part of my rehab.
Thank you, Isabel!
We appreciate all that you do for us.
Thank you!
Keith, I hope you already know this, how much we appreciate what you do for us on a daily basis.
Those are the messed up needs that we all get. We just want to say thank you. We appreciate all that you sacrifice. Thanks, Dave.
Thank you, Dave. We couldn't do it without you.
We're really grateful for all of our athletic trainers here, especially Keith, because he cares about us physically and mentally. And he'll do anything he can to get us back out on the court. You guys make us elite. You rock!
They are part of the backbone of our Gannon athletic program, and the student athletes, as you can see, very appreciative. So many of them spend, well, we hope not daily, but so many of them spend time inside the athletic training room and working with those athletic trainers to make sure that they are all set to go come competition day. We have 6 wonderful athletic trainers who do an incredible job with Gannon Athletics. And earlier this week, I had an opportunity to talk with head athletic trainer David Dennis, who's been in the business over 3 decades, about what the experience of working with student athletes means to him and the gratifying opportunity he gets each day to get to build those personal relationships with the student athletes on respective teams. Take a listen. Every month should be National Athletic Training Month because these guys and gals do such a great job here at Gannon University for making sure all of our athletes are as healthy as they possibly can be. Head athletic trainer David Dennis, who's been here for the last handful of years, one of 6 athletic trainers here on campus. David, first of all, happy to be able to recognize you. I know your job is extremely difficult and you work long hours, but take me through exactly, for you, the journey of, because you've been in this business now over 3 decades, what made you want to be an athletic trainer and just the excitement that you get every single day behind that for the athletes?
Yeah, sure. When I was first looking for a college major, it was actually my brother at the time who mentioned there was a degree program out there that involved both athletics and sports medicine. So that piqued my interest. I was never an athlete myself. I'm one of the few ATs out there who probably didn't start off in athletics, but I knew I was very interested in healthcare. Always loved sports, being around sports, and being a fan of sport teams. So it just seemed like the good marriage at the time. And I kind of circumvented it, went in and out of some other majors, eventually found my way into athletic training, graduated from WVU back in 1992, went on then to the University of Pittsburgh, got my master's degree there for in a couple years. So I finished there in 1994. And then that's when I started up my profession as a collegiate athletic trainer.
It's been an exciting road for you, and I'm sure you've had so many moments along the way that you can remember and things of that nature. But let's talk about the last few years here at Gannon. Obviously, every single sport here is extremely competitive. All the student athletes are great at what they do. Take me through what this experience has been for you and getting a chance to be a part with 5 other athletic trainers here at Gannon.
Yeah, it's a great opportunity. In my previous school, we had sometimes the similar amount of athletic trainers, and other times there was a very few. Like when I first started as an athletic trainer, many Division II universities at that time, you had one athletic trainer. So when I was hired, I was the head athletic trainer, assistant athletic trainer. I had all the roles and such. So the growth of the profession is unbelievable as far as what staffing is occurring now at the collegiate level. The education of what our athletic trainers are getting now through their master's degree programs is much more than what I ever had. But as far as getting here to Gannon, I got here in October 2020, right in the middle of the pandemic, so that was a challenge at the time. And I think there was a lot of us that were questioning ourselves at that time, just with everything that was going on, the difficulties. But we soldiered through it. We got through the pandemic, and things have gotten back now to our traditional athletic training. So it's been a great experience here at Gannon University. My previous school is also a D2 Catholic institution, so it wasn't that huge of a step for me. But as far as the level of competitiveness of these programs here, so many successful athletes and coaches to work with, as well as the administration here at Gannon, it's been a good experience so far.
You talk about we're back to, quote, typical days, and we are when it comes to the world, but for you and your department, every single day is not typical because you're seeing athletes on a consistent basis. How many student athletes would you say that you see a day, and how you try to contextualize and put into perspective every single student athlete's needs, because I'm sure that your room is very busy day in, day out.
Yeah, every day is unique. I think that's one of the things that draws people towards athletic training, in that you've got different practice during the day. The seasons change going from the fall, the winter to the spring sports. That's one of the things that I enjoy about it, because it's not one stagnant thing all year long. Okay, great for the ATs or who work in the clinic setting out there in the traditional sports medicine clinic. Yeah, it's very much a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 job. It's just not for me. I knew that. I've experienced a little bit of that, but because I like more the excitement of being around college athletics and working, and seeing the athletes and coaches succeed at what they do. So a typical day here, we see quite a few athletes that come through. And again, every day is different. Just depends on who's practicing on what day. If football's practicing, there's a lot more athletes coming through. A day it's not, it's a little bit more calmer, but every team has their challenges and volume of athletes that come through. You may have a team that only has 15 athletes on it, but 10 of those 15 maybe are coming in every day for treatment. Or you work with a team that's got 50, and you're seeing 5 or 6 of them on a daily basis. But that's part of the uniqueness. That's part of the fun. I think that's part of the enjoyment that people get out of being professionals in athletic training.
Part of this industry someone from the outside, but I'm sure you could agree is the relationship part of this, right? You have to know every student athlete in and out, because I'm sure at some point somebody's going to be in your room for at least, whether it's 5 minutes, 10 minutes, a few hours, something like that. What's the importance for you about building the relationships, and how are you able to do that with every single student athlete and every single team? What's that process like?
It's something you learn throughout your career of working with student athletes. As you mentioned, I've been doing this for over 30 years now at the collegiate level, and we all have our own tactics and the way we work with our student athletes. But foremost, I think with them is just being somebody that they can trust, and you're being honest with them. It's difficult when you look at an athlete's injury and in your mind knowing this is a bad injury. So now you've got to relay that back to the student athlete, potentially parents, and of course the coaching staff and such, and understanding that it can be very cut and dry for us, because we know, okay, you have this injury, this is what we're going to do to take care of it. I'll see you tomorrow. But the athlete doesn't need that. You want to be able to explain to the athlete what's going on, and listen to and answer all their questions, and hopefully be someone that they can trust, and you can give them all the information they need about their injury and what it's going to take for them to recover and get back.
Talk about your office. Like we said, you're one of 6 here at Gannon University. All of them do a tremendous job, and you split your sports up so that it's not one person doing everything. But we see the athletic trainers around on a daily basis, and you're running around, you're doing different things, and it all seems like, and I'm sure this is something that you'll agree with, that there is such a level of passion in that office that sometimes goes unnoticed. Take me through what your team means to you and how important they've been in your time here at Gannon.
No, yeah, it's huge. Like I said, back in the day, I was by myself, and then
I can't even imagine.
No, well, and it was a different world, different times, of course, but and level of expectation of care was different as well. I did as much as I could, but obviously. But so now with a large staff, that we're blessed with here, it's vital that to have people working with me as athletic trainers. That obviously I trust. Hopefully they have a trust in me, to look out for them as well. But the value of them working with their teams, knowing what they're doing, the experience levels that they bring in. We hire some people who are fresh out. We have other people who have some years of experience behind them. So from Olivia Fink to Samantha Delcamp to Keith Weber to Isabel Krzyzewski and Jane Kubala, and I'd be remiss if I didn't mention Jacob Kramer, who was with us throughout the past 2 years. Great staff, great working with them, because they're hard workers. They know what the expectations are, and they are great communicators with their student athletes and the coaches.
Whether you're a student athlete, whether you're someone at Gannon, someone who's watching this who's just interested in the athletic training process, you've been in this a while. You know the ins and outs. What's your piece of advice to prospective athletic trainers who are either in it right now in college, in the first few years of their professional phase? What would be your advice to them in terms of being successful in this industry?
It's something I've learned myself over the years, because I mentioned earlier about what the education levels now are so much greater than what they were when I was coming out of school back in the early 90s, of what athletic trainers need to know to perform their function. So being open to new ideas, and that's what, like I said, I learned from the younger athletic trainers who have the newer education. And I used to teach, and I used to run an athletic training curriculum, so I had a familiarity with that as well. So I had to try to teach this stuff that was new to me as well. Being open to new ideas and understanding that this is a lot of professors are unique, and I feel it's unique as also that as support staff in an athletic department, we have a great responsibility to our student athletes of their health care, of understanding what their needs are, what their desires are. They want to play their sport. The last place they want to be is in the athletic training room. So what can we do to make it as smooth of a transition as possible from being injured back onto the field? And so, advice to future athlete trainers, or people who are young in the profession, being open to new ideas, understanding the needs of the athletes, and being honest with everybody you deal with.
And again, our thanks to David Dennis, the head athletic trainer, for joining us on the United podcast tonight. And thanks to all 6 of our athletic trainers who do such great work with our student athletes. And hopefully you get a chance to honor them as well this month for Athletic Training Month. If you see one, make sure to say thank you for all the work that they do. Well, we want to thank all of you for being part of our 5th ever United podcast tonight, of course, broadcasting live from the UPick6 Tap House downtown. We're going to go off the air, but make sure to still come down and support the Tap House. We've got $2 off our dish of the day. Of course, if you don't come tonight, come tomorrow between 4 and 6 for almost half off happy hour. So many great things happening with John Melody and the Tap House downtown. So many great things happening downtown as well with Gannon Athletics. Before we let you go, we want to let you know what's happening next week. Yes, that's right. We've got a show rundown for you coming up next Thursday as well. Zarko Sadakovic and a student athlete will join us from the women's water polo team as they get ready to host their tournament coming up next weekend. And we'll also touch on a lot of Day of Giving, which is coming up next month from 8 p.m. on April 24th to 8 p.m. on April 25th. You'll see so much on our social media channels for that and the importance of what Day of Giving means to Gannon Athletics and our student athletes across our university. Carrie McKay, our Assistant Director of Athletics for External Relations, will join us on the podcast next week to talk about what this means and how you can get involved with Day of Giving even before Day of Giving actually begins at the end of April. Once again, thank you to all of you for being a part of our podcast tonight, however you may be watching, whether you were live in person at the Tap House or watching us on YouTube, X, Facebook, or Instagram. That's all for us for now. We leave you this week with the week that was and say adios until next week at 6 o'clock, April 3rd, right here from the UPick6 Tap House in downtown Erie.